right, well, we're back here, the HonkyTalk podcast, episode 25, brought to you always by the Sundown Tavern, where we're saving Ruston and Lincoln Parish one sandwich at a time. But today we have Steve Wilkinson. Hello, Steve.
What's up, man? Thank you.
Steve is a good friend of all of ours. He's been like a second dad or an uncle to a lot of us. Yep. And so we're able to sit with him in his new music store location, Shreveport Music Company. Steve, welcome.
That's funny you say that, because a lot of the young musicians around here right now are calling me Daddy Steve. That's been my nickname. The other night when we were playing in downtown Shreveport, I took my in-ear out just for a minute, and I heard Daddy Steve from the crowd, you know. Yeah. So that's been pretty cool.
T-shirt I did, Daddy Steve.
Daddy Steve, yeah.
It's you know, I'll take it, man. I'll take it. That's an honor to me, you know, for real.
Well, tell us about, so we know you got Cardinal Music in Stonewall, Louisiana, correct?
Correct.
Let me ask you this. How did all this come about? I mean, I know you played music your whole life and you've done things like that, which we will get to. But tell us about Cardinal Music and how that came about and just what people may not realize, open up a music store. What is that?
Well, I was a full-time fireman for 30 years. I retired last year. Well, a few years before I retired, my youngest son, Cardis, went to college in Nashville. And he was there for almost a semester. And Cardis, he was taking music business. He said he loved his music business class, but he called me one day and he said, "Daddy, I don't ever want to set another day of my life in the classroom." I said, "Okay, son, what do you want to do?" He was working at Bass Pro Shops at Opryland, you know. He said, "Man, all the guys I'm going to school with, they're out playing in Christian bands and doing this." He said, "Man, I just want to play my bass and start a business." I said, "Well, you know, I'm getting ready to retire from the fire department." So I said, I'm thinking about opening a music store in Stonewall. He immediately said, "Let's do it." So he came home from college that semester, and we put our heads together and really did our research, and we opened Cardinal, even against a lot of a lot of people's judgment, going, "Man, you're opening a music store in Stonewall? It'll never work." And it's working, and it's great, you know. And I love it. I love the community there in DeSoto Parish. I love Stonewall. Yeah, it's great. We've got a great store, but that's how it came about, and he decided he wanted to go tour and play music. So I told him, I said, "Look, I'll give you 10 or 12 good years after I retire from the fire department of running the store, and I'll help you build it as much as I can build it. And then when I'm old, you've either got to run it, sell it, or help me in my older years, you know." So so he's out on the road playing, and I'm here running the music stores.
That's awesome. But so, and y'all
worked out for him.
Yeah, that's right. No, it has. And what's so funny is we say, like, I know, because we all know each other. So how long has Cardinal Music been open?
We opened up, we officially got our business license in February of 22. We opened in June of 22.
June of 22.
Yeah, and wow. we were there. We were in that location in Stonewall for right at a year, and then we moved. It was a little small store, and we moved right next door to a double suite. Still not a real big store, but double what we had, triple the inventory, and it's really a perfect size music store. It's very much the community's music store there.
I know a lot of people that go there, and which DeSoto Parish is full of talent, musical talent anyway. So it needed that. I mean, I wonder why so many people would be like, "Oh, don't. What are you doing opening a music store?" I wonder why they would even think, why.
Yeah, all the naysayers.
Yeah.
But this is my first experience with Cardinal Music, because I know Cardis, and then me and Steve had played together actually, and I needed some gear and everything, but I had a show in Texas. I was playing in what's the name of that? Don't know where. Sandy.
Yeah. Big Sandy.
Big Sandy.
The crawfish place.
The crawfish place. Yeah, and Big Sandy. Anyway, my electric guitar amp, like literally like the day before, like goes out. And I mean, it's just lights on, no sound. I needed another microphone because whatever. But anyway, so I was like, you know what? We're going to leave early and we're going to go to Cardinal Music. I said, because I know Cardis and I know Daddy Steve over there. And I'm going to start calling you that, by the way.
T-shirts, I did something.
Yeah. So I was like, we got to go leave early. So we left really early to go to the music store. When I walked in and first saw it, man, it was just, he's right. It really is the perfect music store. And but not just like you said, like it was the community, like music store, but like, man, you still have, like I walked in this one right here in Shreveport Music, and you didn't have like just average gear, it wasn't like, just regular Boss pedals or just some guitar straps. It was like some really nice things, like you really did. And I eventually sat down and I bought an amp and a microphone and whatever else we bought.
And whatever else,
yeah.
And then several gigs out. Every time we go play with Trey, he's like, "Hey man, do you think you can bring this with you?" Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
that's right.
So I think he plays for free every time I play with him. He's buying gear from me. But it's pretty cool because our store is very boutique-ish. It started. I don't mean to ramble on your podcast, but to give you the backstory about it, that's how it started. It was mine and Curtis's idea. And the thing was starting in January of 20. Between January of 20 and December of 21, man, we lost a lot of family. My mom passed away in January of 20. Shortly after that, my wife lost her dad, her mother, and then her brother on Christmas Eve of 21, colon cancer. So I always tell everybody, guys our age, go get checked. Yeah. It's worth it. Because he would be telling me, go get checked, brother-in-law. But anyway, he was a blues player. He was known around town. His name was Randy Lambert. And the blues guys around town knew him. He played with Floyd Grigsby, and everybody knows Floyd around town, man. And so when we decided to open Cardinal Music, that's what we wanted to do. We called it Cardinal Music because we were out on the back porch feeding the birds, and we said, our cardinals represent our visitors from heaven. Yeah. And we said, you know what? We're going to call it Cardinal Music. We're going to dedicate the store to Randy. Yeah. Her parents, my mom, our family members that we've lost, and it really is. Every day that we walk in there, we got pictures of them on the wall and stuff, and it's like they're there with us. I can hear my mother-in-law in the corner cackling, even in here. Yeah, right. And I can hear Randy telling me, brother-in-law, you need to do this or that. So it's very close to my heart. It's a family thing. My wife, during all that, the time that our family was all passed away. My wife had a car accident, which turned out to be a blessing because they found brain tumors. So without it, we wouldn't have known that she had those tumors. So after her first brain surgery, she started doing handmade jewelry. And I was like, you ought to sell that in our store. And she's like, it's a music store. I said, no, that's what makes it. It's a family store. It's a boutique store. And, we've got it over here too. So she started making handmade jewelry and selling it in our Cardinal store. And it works. Yeah. It's good.
Well, kudos to Paula.
It's something a little different than a normal music store. We have a nice sitting area in this store and at Cardinal, Yeah. Yeah. So it's family oriented. It really is. We want people to feel like family. It's cool. And, again, not to ramble, but I've got to brag on our family, our customer family. I happened to be at the other store. Golly, when was it? It was Sunday morning. Curtis got married Sunday. Yeah, right. So before his wedding, I had to go up there and swap out some gear and pick some things up. Well, one of our customers came by and opened the door. He said, "Man, I just want to make sure everything's all right. It's time for Sunday school." And I said, "I know, man. I'm not going to be there today,
yeah,
Curtis.
I
got a lot going, Curtis."
My son's getting married.
Well, he didn't recognize the truck I was in out front. He said, "Man, I saw a weird truck out in front of the store. I wanted to stop and make sure everything was cool." And that's the kind of customers we got. Yeah, I love it.
Oh, that's awesome, man. And and thank y'all for saving me that day. The gig wouldn't have happened if I would have been duped basically, but I felt like that when I walked in, man. I felt like you tried everything, and because we didn't hang out a whole lot. I mean, we played drums one time. Yeah. Actually, was it that night?
Yeah, it was that night.
It was that night. Yeah, at Big Sandy.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally picked up an amp and brought him with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about family.
Well, Steve's always ready to rock. So
yeah,
in a good way.
Yeah.
By the way, man, you are just an excellent drummer.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
Played with a few of them over the years, but yeah, definitely it was a lot of fun.
So you've been open since June 22nd at Cardinal Music.
Yeah, well, in June,
okay,
of 22. Yeah.
All right, and then what gave you the idea to open up a second store? Because that's pretty good with business. A lot of times it's a
right, man. I'm gonna tell you, I've always respected Shreveport music. My dad raised me going to Shreveport music. I remember when they were in the original location on Kings Highway. I was little at the time. My dad would take me there, and he would take me over to Kozak Music. Well, then they moved over to Burt Coons. I don't know if you remember that store. There was a store where it's like where Discount Tire is now, right across the street from where Walmart is. None of that was there at the time, but Shreveport Music was there. And that was about the time that I got my driver's license, and I would go up there. I remember John Compton would work. He worked up there. I don't know if y'all know John. John was a heck of a bass player. Man.
That was when it was still like cotton fields, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of that around there was.
Still farmland.
Everything around it really was. All that up and down Erie Drive was, yeah. But I'd drive up there in my truck and go hang out at Shreveport Music. And then when I started buying PA equipment and all that, man, I can't tell you how much stuff I put on layaway up there. And then they moved to 70th Street, and that's later on, I got married, had kids, and then that's where I started taking my kids to. Or Landry, my oldest, we would go up there. And I think Cardis really more or less remembers going to Kings Highway when they moved back to Kings Highway. But what inspired me to get Shreveport music was, we'd seen them kind of decline in the last few years, I'd say. And, man, I loved them. Even when I opened up Cardinal, I didn't open up as competition because I felt like I was plenty far out.
Sure.
I opened up
man.
in Stonewall to it's like I told Don Teach one day. I said, man, I opened up out there just because I wanted to cultivate really what he had going in his store back in the day when my dad could bring me to that store. And I see it in here now. And in my store in Stonewall, dads and sons and dads and daughters, the little girls out in our area are killing it, by the way, on guitar. Yeah. And that just families could come in and enjoy themselves and look around and put their hands on an instrument, And so that's what inspired me. And then, when I got the call from the guys a few months ago, the former owner had called me and said, man, I think they were pretty well ready to throw in the towel, nothing negative. They just one of the other owners had passed away here a while back, and I think maybe it was still a lot on his wife. I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for them, but I know that they had their plate pretty full, and they were ready to get out of it. Yeah. And it just worked out. It was the time when they called me this time, and I said, I didn't want to do it. And whenever I talked to him on the phone that day, I was like, oh, man, it's crazy because I had just sat in my little store the day before at Cardinal. And I'd gotten there real early that morning, man, and I ate my breakfast, and I said my prayers, and I was like, Lord, this is cool. This is a perfect gig for a retired fireman, musician like me. I love my store in Stonewall. And it was just the right pace. Well, then the guys from Shreveport called me the next day about buying this, and I was like, oh, man, no. And in my mind, I was thinking of every reason in the world not to do it. Yeah. I was very comfortable, but I guess sometimes the Lord just wants us to get out of our comfort shoes. You know what I mean? Put on the work boots and do what needs to be done because I didn't want to see it die. Yeah. I really didn't, and I don't want to see it die. And it's not going to die as long as I've got it.
So it truly did. It meant something to you. It did. Shreveport, the logo, the Shreveport Music Company, everything about it just spoke.
Yeah, it's a legendary.
You and your dad, and times going in there, and everything.
We all have a connection here because man, the cool thing about this is it's like we talked about earlier. I mean, I know a lot of musicians in this area, and I love every one of them. But a lot of guys, I get it. They're not going to drive all the way to Stonewall. Can't drive to Stonewall if you're playing in Bossier, on a Friday night,
Monroe.
or Monroe, and you live in Shreveport. You're not fixing to go south just to go back that way.
Right.
And I get it. Opening, or taking on Shreveport music really was a big thing for us, and I'm seeing a lot of musicians that they would still come see me. It just wasn't as often,
Right. Yeah. And that was kind of my thing. It was like, I'm either passing, going to East Texas or I'm stopping in Bossier or something. And so I really wanted to come visit more. And it's like now, I definitely can come. I pass here all the time.
Yeah.
So it's going to be just really cool. You're a little closer to me. And just in my path now, so it's just I'm excited.
And I love hearing stories, man. That the older guys around here really have some good stories. And not saying he's an older guy, but Hassel was in here earlier. I'm definitely not gonna call him an older guy.
He was here earlier today.
But he was here earlier today. But I love it when people like him come in. Man, you talk about guys that truly. I hold him up on a legendary status, man. I mean,
100%. It's Hassel.
Man, Hassel's been around the world playing music, and he's got some stories now.
Yeah,
and he ain't. The good thing about Hassel too, he ain't afraid to tell him. He'll tell him.
He will. Yes, he will. But man,
he'll tell him.
Can he lay it down?
He can play the Tickle the Mowers.
But once again, it's like family walking through the door. Hassel comes in, and you're like, "Hey, man, that's our family." Just like y'all walking in here today, that's family. I wouldn't be ashamed to walk out and leave the whole thing with Hassel. Here, man, watch this. I'll be back.
Yeah.
That brings that family thing right. You have people that are around you that you trust.
Right.
And I guess really, out of the three of us sitting here, we're all we'd have to say we're blessed to be able to have that.
We are. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how long I've known you.
No, for a long time. I mean,
you for a long time.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I remember met you, I think, it might have been when you first started playing with Justin Merritt at that time.
Probably was, yeah.
It's just crazy because I called up Bo and I was like, man, what if I know Steve Wilkinson. He's like, I was like, do you know him? He's like, yeah, I know Steve. He's like, I've known Steve forever. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So anyway, we're just happy to have you on the show.
Yeah, and be here at Shreveport Music Company. So let's take a quick break and let all our listeners and viewers know that you can get this episode, the 25th episode, and all our episodes on Spotify under HonkyTalk, one word, podcast, and of course on YouTube, a HonkyTalk podcast page, and Facebook and Instagram, HonkyTalk Podcast. Be right back. Sundown Tavern, thank you. Always a pleasure. We're here at Shreveport Music today. Be right back.
All right. That was segment 1.
Pretty good, isn't it?
That was pretty good. Been working on that.
I've been practicing.
I can ramble. We can do like 10 segments.
I know. I know.
All right, coming back in with segment 2 out of 10.
Episode 10 of this episode.
Yeah. part 47. Episode 25.
It's we're doing a telethon tonight.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, so we've touched base with Cardinal Music.
What was that? What y'all were wanting to talk about earlier? I forgot.
I do want to bring up, do you offer, what's the layaway or the payment plan?
Yeah.
So we can go, hey,
Affirm.
Affirm. Yep,
Affirm.
Spell it.
AFFIRM.
Affirm, what's it called?
That's just what it's called, is Affirm. You download it. It's an app on your phone. You download it on your phone.
Download
We accept Affirm as a payment.
with the ACPT
Yep.
as payment. Which the example would be anything you want to get online at any of these other music companies.
Right. Most of them, that's what they're doing anyway.
Cardinal does it, and this place does
Yep.
it. Okay, cool. Because I think that would drive some people in,
Yeah.
Okay. Trey, any topic?
I forgot the one y'all wanted me to bring up. You said you had a follow-up question. What were we talking about, Steve?
We were standing right there.
I know. I was standing right there, and you were like, "Oh, bring that up," and I was like, "I will," and then, pew.
It left.
I knew I should have wrote it down.
Yeah.
I think it had something to do with the Cardinal Music being, and then when it opened, and then also touch base on how long he's been here.
Yeah, we did that.
And then this next segment, we'll get into like you playing music.
Okay.
And then we'll go through there and any funny stories. And of course, if you want to brag on your boys, brag on them.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do that, and then also with this A-firm stuff and everything, like that's just one thing that you have to offer here. But like, maybe some other. What else do you offer here? Like
we do layaway. We do 60-day layaway. Yeah.
Guitar setups.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
Spell layaway. Is it layaway?
Lay away.
Yes, we like you lay away.
Away. Lay
lay
away.
away.
Lay away.
But yeah, just stuff like that that y'all just offer here.
Yeah.
Music lessons.
Yep. Do lessons.
Okay, so
Tony
yeah,
Reyes?
yeah. So y'all do music lessons. Yep. Any kind of like, you don't do any like amp work or anything.
No.
Amp work.
There's one guy in town that says he's going to get back into it, and I hadn't talked to him yet. But
Okay.
we send
You do
all
your
that.
basic guitar stuff.
We do basic guitar setups, and
Yeah.
any major repairs we send to Donnie Opperman,
Okay.
Joel Dyer.
Where's he from?
Joel
Yeah.
or Donnie? Joel.
Donnie.
He used to work at Shreveport Music years ago.
He did.
He had his shop in Shreveport Music. Now he's got a shop set up in Fondren's down there.
That's where Creed Fisher and then
Yeah.
we're going to be playing at that car museum. Well, it's not a car.
Did it?
I guess
Wasn't
it's a
it
car
last
museum.
week?
Oh, was it last week?
Yeah.
I think it was last week.
Yeah.
That's who I take my guitar to get worked on.
Donnie, yeah. I send Donnie work every day. He ought to be swamped right now.
That's probably why my guitar takes 2 weeks to get back. I'm like, son of a.
Oh, that's quick, man. That's quick. If you got it back in 2 weeks, yeah.
I think it's a week and a half. Never mind. See, I'm blowing my cover. Usually he's probably hooking me up or something. Running my mouth again. Okay, you ready?
Welcome back, everyone, to the HonkyTalk podcast. That's right. We got Steve Wilkinson here with us today here at Shreveport Music.
Yeah.
Well, man, tell us a little bit of life on the road, man. You got some funny stories about you or your boys?
My boys, man. Man, probably, like I said, when we decided to start the store and my agreement with Cardis, he wanted to play his bass, and I told him, okay, I'll give you a few years and I'll try to build the store up. Well, he'd got out and started playing a little bit, and he was, we already kind of had some connections on the red dirt scene. We'd been playing with Bo Phillips, and then Cardis scored a gig with Trent Willman, and while he was out with Trent, some guys noticed him, and he picked up some gigs with Brandon Ryder and David Adam Burns and guys like that, which eventually led to where he's at now with Braxton Keith.
Right.
But one of my first times, Curtis is my baby boy.
That's
my
right.
baby boy.
That's right.
We decided we were going to go to South Texas and see him down at Flores Country Store, and man, he was down there, and it was packed. It was sold out, and all these drunk chicks, a lot of them my age, even.
Right.
I mean, all ages.
Yeah, right.
At the front of the stage, woo, and I'm thinking, that's my baby boy,
Yeah.
But no, he's a big old cowboy now. If you see
That's
him,
right.
if you ever watch any of Braxton Keith's videos, he's the big cowboy bass player in the back with the beard.
And the sunglasses,
Yeah,
man.
the sunglasses.
Looking like a good bass player, should.
Yeah.
In the pocket, man. Yeah, that's Curtis. That's probably my funniest. Where I finally was like, but one thing I'll say about him, and I know I'm not going to talk too much about him, but we went to see him a few weeks ago in Oklahoma, and I said after the gig, I had walked out front. Curtis had us some backstage passes, and I walked out front, and I said, Curtis, man, I said that is the first concert I've ever been to in my life where I heard the entire crowd singing to the top of their lungs from the first song to the last song.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost so loud that you almost couldn't hear Braxton sing. I was like, man, that is amazing. To all his original stuff. I was like, man, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
It's crazy. But
Did you get emotional?
I really did because,
I know I would have been.
Yeah.
because I've been to see him several times since then. It's like that at every show,
He's like, that's my son up there.
Well, it's crazy, man. I guess it's just social media or whatever,
Yeah.
It just works, but it's cool having him out on the road because where it plays into our store at is obviously I got two boys. I got Curtis playing bass. He's the co-owner of the stores, and I have Landry, which is my oldest, and Landry is an AV technician. He has he has an AV company. He does installs and in churches and schools and things like that. He is the brain work behind the PA gear, and I'm not talking about just your PA that we're setting up at a small club or restaurant. I mean, man, I've seen him do this stuff at these at schools and football stadiums, and he'll make this room talk to that room, and it's just way beyond me.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm blessed to have both of them in here because Landry will call me and keep me abrupt on the latest, greatest AV gear
That's right.
and PA stuff. And then, Curtis will call me and go, hey, Daddy, you need to check out this pedal. We've been out on the road, and up north, these guys up here that's opening for us are playing this, and this. We need to keep these in stock,
Wow.
We just got some pod goes in here.
Yeah.
I hope it's still they're still here, but things like that. I mean, a lot of the Helix stuff and just crazy stuff that Curtis will call me and go, "Hey, you need to get this in stock," or so and so's playing these strings, the Martin Lux strings, that we need to keep that. So that's where I get a lot of. Obviously, I take into consideration what he tells me and what our local people tell me.
What they're actually going to buy too. I mean,
right. I got to keep in stock what our local people are going to buy. When they come in and they ask for something, I've got 1,001 sticky notes over there.
Right.
When people come in and they ask for something, I write it down, and then it goes on my desk. And when I'm back there making my orders, I try to order it.
Well, you were talking about Curtis and his in the pocket bass playing and his stage presence and what he's been able to grow into this great bass player. But also to be able to carry that on stage because that's not easy to do too. But Brother Landry ain't no slouch guitar player either.
Landry's a good guitar player.
Okay, I mean, because Landry's played with me, and so has Curtis, and through the years now. And Landry's, but with both your sons, Curtis and Landry, both, but they can both come in. They know music. They know how to hear the music. They know where to get in and fit in. Yeah. And that's not always easy to do when not your average person that picks up any instrument can just sit in with somebody and play and be on time and know when to play, not play, and it feel good still.
And as a customer, you have to be careful walking into a music store, especially one of our stores with Landry, because Landry will pick up a guitar and make you want to buy it. It was funny. There was a guy, we were in Cardinal the other day, and the guy come in and he said, "Man, I really kind of like that guitar." And Landry said, "Well, here." He took it off the walls. "Here, play." And he goes, "Well, I want to hear you play it." He didn't know Landry, so Landry picks it up and does his finger picking thing. The guy says, I think I'll take that one. Perfect sense. And he walked out the door with it. So what's funny about that is when we bought Shreveport Music, I mean, obviously nobody can know everything.
Right.
You have to know people that know things. So in here, I mean, I'm not a great guitar player. I teach basic guitar lessons to kids in Stonewall. I teach on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
So you'll have classes here?
And we do lessons here as
well.
Cool.
Okay.
Man, yeah, Tony Reyes teaches here.
Tony Reyes.
And Tony is your freaking, man, he's a monster with guitar lessons and theory.
Yeah.
And Tony's also teaching DAW stuff, so your digital audio workstations. He's teaching that here. Yeah.
Wow.
So Tony's doing, and I think Tony teaches about 8 days a week in here.
Wow.
Tony is here. I think Tony's here more than any of us are. You know, It was crazy because when we bought the store, I said, well, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do whatever I can to keep from disrupting Tony's lessons, because Tony's running so many students in and out of here every week, you know, and it really worked. And it was great to see his students come in week after week, and every time they'd see a little bit of change, they would light up and give me thumbs up and give me a hug. So, yeah, Tony does guitar and bass up here, and Landry's going to be teaching up here, I think, on Tuesdays. Don't quote me on it. Well, yeah, you can quote me on that. He better come up here and teach on Tuesdays. He told me he was.
He wants a piece of that family pie?
Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
But I teach in Stonewall. I teach basic guitar, bass, and drums in Stonewall. And also in Stonewall, we have Jimmy Johnson. I don't know if y'all know Jimmy, man. Jimmy's been around the area. He's up there. He's been around the area for a long time. He's, you know, a lot of the pros in Shreveport took lessons with Jimmy Johnson.
Wow.
You know, and Jimmy was Landry's teacher. Landry started with a guy named Jerry Beach. When he was little, Jerry was a blues man. Jerry wrote "I'll Play the Blues for You," and Landry started with him, and he was with Jerry for a few years when he was little, and then we moved him over to Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy took him to another level, and what's crazy is once again what makes us a family store is back then, man, I couldn't afford for my kids to be going to guitar lessons, so I get it. If you come to me and tell me you can't afford I'm going to work with you however I can, because we couldn't afford it then. I mean, even though we were doing it, we were making it. My gigs that I would play on the weekends would help pay for Landry's lessons. But the cool thing was that there were months back then that if we couldn't quite make it that month, Jimmy would always say, "Man, don't take him out. We he needs to be in lessons. I'll work with you. I'll get you next month, whatever." So when we opened the store in Stonewall, I begged Jimmy to come teach down there. So when Jimmy finally decided he would come and teach down there, I gave Jimmy the nice bougie room down there. Jimmy has a very nice bougie lesson room in Stonewall. I make sure Jimmy's comfortable. I make sure Jimmy's coffee is on every day by 2 o'clock.
Yeah, that's right.
And we're going to do what we can to keep Jimmy, because we love Jimmy. He's family.
Keep Jimmy happy.
But lessons, man, we do guitar, bass, drums. But we have Joseph Lee here helping me at Shreveport Music, and you know Joe from playing with Braden Watts and all those guys, and that's where the nickname Daddy Steve come in at, was from Braden and Aiden and Jazz. I think Aiden may have been the first one to call me Daddy Steve. I don't know, but all of them, and Rayleigh, Curtis's wife now. It's funny to hear me say Curtis's wife, but that's where the Daddy Steve thing came in. But Joe is part of that little crew. He's like one of my other kids. And up here, he kept telling me, he said, "Daddy Steve, man, if you'll get me some keyboards in Shreveport Music," he said, I can't play guitar, but I can sell keyboards like Landry does guitars. And he's right, man. I've seen him in here with customers, and he'll be over there just wailing away on that piano, and I'm like, golly, you know.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. It's so funny. And there, music always has cliques. Well, a lot of it is their generation or their age group, and they have a phenomenal age group of talent. That's with Curtis, Landry, with Braden. I'll count Trey in there because Trey's
I'm just only a few years older.
A little bit younger than us, just a little bit. but Trey's involved in that clique too. I would say that he's in that niche. You joined that niche as well, and then with Landry, I said Landry, Curtis, and then Joe. You said Joe. Yeah. And then Aiden. And even Evan.
And that's what I was going to say, too. You know why those kids are all going to be successful and why they are successful.
Yeah,
they are successful right now. They're very successful because they love each other and they support each other. The cool thing was when so we talked about Hassel Tico earlier in the last segment. Oh, yeah. We love Hassel. Hassel was the one that introduced Curtis to Braden and Aiden and all those guys. Because what was funny was Evan was playing bass with Braden and Aiden. Right. And Evan was fixing to leave and go to college down in Temple. And Hassel was like, man, I know a kid that would fit in great with y'all. So he introduced Curtis to him. Well, they all fit in together. But the cool thing was when Evan did come back to town, they didn't just shove Evan out. No. They brought him back in. Heck, Evan's just as good of a guitar player.
I know.
He can play anything.
I know.
And all those kids can. They can all play whatever they put their hands on.
So. Even Aiden. I used to joke with Aiden sometimes. I'd get him, he'd come play, he's probably with you too, I'm sure, acoustic gigs, and he would sing so soft, but the songs that he would sing, I'm like, this is the same stuff I listen to, like if I'm driving down the highway. And I don't mean that we would cover, there's things you listen to, but I don't mean you may go play it at your gig, right?
Right.
Okay. He's playing those songs that I'm jamming in the car to. Yeah. So finally I look at him, I go, Aiden, you need to turn your voice up and
And do it, yeah.
Sing. Pull the cat let it out of the bag, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, let the music flow. I mean, come on, son.
Yeah,
but
great
anyways,
musicians.
But they are great.
But those kids, they support each other.
They do.
And they are very much like my own kids, because when back to the store here, when I tell you that, support your mom and pop stores, because they literally put in their blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
Quick story, when we were working on Cardinal, when we started at Cardinal Music, we were in a small suite. We were there for a year, and then we moved next door into a double suite. Well, when we were moving into the double suite, I painted the first suite that we were in, and I get paint all over the floor. So Aiden and them were like, "Daddy Steve, look, man, we'll paint this one over here. You just, you stay
Of course,
back."
they're going to be messing with you the whole time, going, "Oh, Daddy Steve, we got this. You can't."
Yeah. Well, they did. Aiden and them were over there painting it. But the thing was that suite was a physical therapy place before we got into it, and the physical therapy place left this mirror on the wall, and it was glued on the wall. So Aiden and Cardis had called me and said, "Look, man, we can't get this mirror off the wall. We took the tracks down. It's not coming out." I said, "Leave that mirror alone. It'll hurt you. Y'all go ahead." They had a gig to go to. I said, "Man, y'all go ahead, and I'll get there." So they left, and they went to their gig as soon as I pulled up. Well, I go there, and I start messing with that mirror, and that mirror popped and went right through my cheek.
Golly.
So I looked, and I'm like, okay, I'm not bleeding. Then all of a sudden, I'm bleeding.
Yeah.
So I go get Paula. We go get stitches, and... So when I tell you that we literally have our blood, sweat, and tears and prayers into all these stories, and it takes the whole team, because Aiden finished painting that one for me. When we got in here, all of a sudden, and also I can't forget to mention Mike Carroll. Mike Carroll, he's my age. Cardis worked for him right out of high school, and in high school a little bit with Carroll's Blinds and Draperies. Man, Mike... all these slat boards that you see here, Mike routed all that.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
He did the ones in Cardinal, too. Not only did he do that, he helped me hang my sign on the building on both, and wouldn't let me pay him for anything.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Don't you hate that?
Yeah.
You love it, but you're like,
you love it, but
that's
that's the kind of people you want around you.
But it does take that. Like you said with the mama, it does take a community.
Yeah. So this is their store. I mean, Mike's got investment in Aiden, Braden, all these guys have an investment in this store. That store, Mike routed these boards, those boards. Yeah. Aiden and Joe came in here and ripped out all the slat wall that was in this store, because I hate slat wall. Other than that over there, we're leaving that with a string jar. I told them leave that alone. But yeah, I mean, they came in and ripped all that at Sean Lake, man. Sean painted everything, and he's doing our back room that I'm not going to really talk about right now. We're going to have
It's a surprise.
It's going to be a surprise. We're going to have a surprise room between Shreveport and Cardinal Music. It's going to be a joint effort that you're really going to have a special privilege to go into that room, Yeah. Where it's going to be at. I'm hoping we'll do another podcast in there.
We will.
That'll be a good one, because it's going to be nice.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about this real quick. You kind of were going into this, what it takes to have a music store. Okay, what I mean by that,
yeah,
not just the finance. The finances have a part of it, not just the building itself. But when you walk in, many, I'm sure everybody in America at one time has gone into a music store at least once. When you look up and see guitars hanging on the wall, tell the listeners and the viewers and stuff, let them in on what it takes, how much investment, like how does that work? If I wanted to carry Gretsch guitars, how do you get a Gretsch guitar in here?
Man, every brand, unless you just carry some cheap, off-the-wall something, every brand that's worth having has a buy-in. A minimum buy-in that you have to buy a certain number of guitars,
which could be what? I mean, it could be.
It could be as it could be as little as 10,000 or as much as 60. Just for that buy-in, and then
you have to. How do they work that? Is it like a consignment type base?
No.
You have to put up that much money to buy in.
Right. You have to put that up
Wow.
to buy in and commit to so many guitars, or commit to so many guitars for a year. But then you have that buy-in again the next year too.
So you better make sure you sell those.
Sell so many. Some brands have it to where you have to have so many guitars on your walls at all times. So even if and they want to know what you've sold. They all have their buy-ins. They all have their rules. They have what they call a MAP price. Most of them, just about everybody just about all products have that now, which is minimum advertised price. And so I know you think, oh man, I'm gonna get a good deal on this. I'm gonna get it online. Well, technically they're not supposed to be selling it any cheaper than what we do, unless it's something that's just completely discontinued,
right?
And they've been, sitting on it for a while. But I'll brag a minute on Paul Reed Smith guitars.
Yep.
This is a perfect example, and I'm sure they don't mind because
Also known as, a lot of people may not know the full name, that's the PRS guitars.
PRS. Yeah.
Thank you. Go ahead.
PRS. I've always had an attraction to PRS guitars. I don't know why. I met Paul years ago at the Dallas Guitar Show. I know he don't even know who I am probably, but I always had an attraction to PRS guitars. So when I got in business at Cardinal, I tried to get with PRS. Well, it's not a matter of just calling and going, hey, can I get your guitars? No, it doesn't work that way. They had a deal where I think I had to be in business for a year. You had to be in the right geographical location. Your buy-in had to be right. Your numbers had to be right. Your bank statements have to be right. Everything has to fall into place.
And this is just to sell products.
Just to sell their products.
Just to hopefully somebody will walk and even first off step foot in your business and buy that guitar.
Right, but there's, and I'm using this as an example.
Sure.
I may not be exact, on everything, but the thing that I really, really loved about PRS was they didn't just shun me off and go, we can't even look at you for a year. They didn't do that. PRS stayed in touch with me. That rep and his boss would call me periodically throughout that year.
Yeah.
Hey, man, how's things going? And they would ask and go, hey, you're a new business. Where are you getting such and such at? And where are you getting this at? Well, here, let me give you a list of distributors that might be able to help you if you're not carrying this product. They were very, very instrumental in my small business getting up off the ground. So I have a high respect for that brand. So then as we get a year in business, they call me and they say, hey, man, we're ready to go. Let's get you signed up. And they've been a wonderful, wonderful company. And man, I got to admit, all my brands have been good. But, people think that these brands just hang guitars up on your walls and you sell them for them. No, that's not the truth. We have to buy that stuff. And when you walk into a guitar store, I don't mean to be mean. You don't want to be that store owner that walks over and goes, hey, are you going to buy that? No, I don't mean to be that guy. But, if somebody's being abusive with a guitar, like you'll notice that we do have signs up here that says if a guitar does not have a pick guard, please don't play it with a pick. Yeah. It's just because, you don't want to go into a music store and buy a guitar that's all scratched up on the top from somebody's pick.
They didn't even buy it. They're just over there thinking,
right.
Y'all got other stuff in the back, and this is the demo or something.
Yeah,
You don't go to a car lot.
Yeah, exactly.
And go over there and bang on the doors and do all this and go, hey, can I test drive your car and go, and do donuts in the parking lot.
Yeah. So, I don't like the tires on this one.
Yeah, take it out and just get out their parking lot. Well, you don't come into music. Yeah. There's some etiquette there.
There's some etiquette there. It is. And that's what, I also think that's what sets us apart from, some of the other stores is we care about our instruments.
You have pride. You have to have
pride in our instruments. When I unbox that guitar, I check it out. I put it on the bench. I check the intonation. I check the setup on it and make sure it's playable. Because in shipping sometimes, the climate's different just from, say, California to here.
And you don't know what pressure it went through with van, plane,
right. So,
handling.
And wood and metal do some crazy things together,
they do.
So we do, that's another benefit from buying from a mom and pop store. I always tell people, even if you don't buy from me, just go buy from a mom and pop store,
That's right.
I'll give a shout out. Y'all are from Ruston and Monroe area. Yeah. There's, I don't know the guys over there personally, but there's Matt's Music in Monroe. If you're not going to buy it at Shreveport, man, go see Matt. Yeah. Those guys over there.
And they got some characters over there too.
But their reputation, people's reputation speaks for itself.
It does.
Because I have customers come in here all the time and brag about those guys. And hey, man, that's what it takes. And I've sent people over there. Hey, man, you might want to go see Matt. If you want a tailor, go see Matt. Yeah. That's your place.
It's funny because everybody on that side of the state, they're like, "Oh man, you need to get you a tailor." It's every one of them.
Yeah, I know. I'm really a Martin guy at heart.
Me too.
But I just want to say, I know you got some big news to announce, and we're happy to share it here. But I want to congratulate you on being a upcoming Martin deal.
Yeah, I was going to ask when this podcast was going to show because, matter of fact, right before we sat down, that was my Martin rep that just texted me a few minutes ago.
It'll be up Friday.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's official. Yeah, we are with Martin now. So we talked about the brands a minute ago. Martin is a very hard brand to get with. They really are. It takes a lot to get with Martin. So Bo, you got to get you a Martin.
Shit, I got a Martin.
Get another one.
I do need another one.
You need another one.
But who doesn't? What red-blooded American does not want a Martin guitar?
I know. They're great. And I think that's why they're so hard to get.
And the band, song "The Weight" was written after the Martin guitar.
Yeah.
He looked into the hole. and said Nazareth pulled into Nazareth. That's what the song was started on.
that's right,
It says Nazareth, Pennsylvania on it.
Yeah.
For y'all that didn't know music history 101 right there.
There you go.
So Martin dealership. Meet Martin dealer, huh?
Yeah. I've been trying to get with them since we opened, and like I said, it was really hard. And then finally, one day out of the blue, the rep emailed me and was like, "Hey, here's your first step. I'm contacting you." Well, then he calls, and then he set up a meeting with me one day, and I think we got our times backwards or whatever. We were closing the doors at Cardinal, and we put a curtain over our door when we closed, and it was 6 o'clock. We just put the curtain up, and somebody's knocking on the door. It was after 6 o'clock. I'm like, what's up? So I opened the door. He goes, "Man, pardon me for the way I'm dressed. I'm your Martin rep. I'm sorry." I was like, "Come on in."
What do you have, a wife beater on and shorts?
No. but he had to come in and do an assessment of both of our stores, and we kind of had an idea that day that it looked like we were going to be accepted or whatever. And he obviously had to run things through his boss and everything. And,
well, that's got to be exciting.
It's very exciting. The stack of paperwork that we had to do.
Of course.
It's like to carry a brand. It's like buying a house every time. It really is. So a while ago he just texted me a while ago and said, "Hey, are you ready to get together this week and talk about your opening orders?" So
congratulations.
So y'all throw some ideas out at me because I
have played several Martins for sure over the last few years, but I'm a big fan of like their X series, their X Brace and stuff.
Yeah.
I think honestly, I bought mine when they first came out, and they were about $800.
Yeah.
New. But I will say that thing has been with me on multiple trips to Nashville in the back of my truck. It's like they're high pressure laminate guitars, but they sound so good.
Yeah.
Like they really do. So anyway, the X series.
Yeah, I've had several used ones come in. I don't take in a whole lot of used gear, and I tell people, we're picky about the used gear that we take in. Sure. I don't mean to offend anybody, but
you got to be. Yeah.
Yeah. We just, first of all, there's so many fakes out there of different stuff. Gibsons and Fenders. So we're picky about what we take in, and but I've taken in several of the Martin X series. As a matter of fact, I see there's a hole in the wall right there. That's where one was just the other day. My old childhood buddy that I grew up with came in and bought that one. You know.
They really are. They're great guitars.
The Martin rep calls today. There's this availability for us right there, a spot for one right now.
There's plenty. I'm telling you,
plenty of room we make.
I
bought my Martin from Shreveport Music Company, so there it is.
Wow.
And see, that's another thing too. We talked about the dealerships and things like that, and people say, "Well, I thought Shreveport Music was already a Martin dealer." Well, the thing is I'm the third owner in the last 30 years, probably, or more. Shreveport Music's been around since 1910. So, but everybody in the area remembers Don Teach owning Shreveport Music. Man, Don, he was one of the most successful music store owners in the country. I've heard stories about Don from reps saying that, man, he had deals with some of these companies that nobody will ever get ever again. That it's crazy. But the thing is, like when Don sold the business the first time, your dealerships don't transfer with the ownership.
Right.
That new owner has to go and reapply for all that stuff over again. So when we opened up in Stonewall as Cardinal, we were our major brands. We got a bunch of different brands, but our major guitar brands were PRS, G&L, Alvarez, Breedlove, and Gretsch.
Yeah.
So I didn't. Obviously, I was trying to get Martin, and I didn't fool with stuff like Epiphone at that time because I knew Shreveport Music had Epiphone. Yeah. As long as they stayed away from Paul Reed Smith, I was going to stay away from Epiphone. Yeah. But now we own both stores, so I have Epiphone.
You have it all.
I have Martin now. So So it was funny because when the Martin rep was here, I said, "So when do you think we could get some Martin on the wall?" And first it was kind of like probably by Christmas, and I was like, "Okay, well that'll be good." And then when he called me the other day, he said, "Man, we'll set up our." Our
but you're not but you're not sure exactly what style of Martin you're going to be getting. What's the lingo?
Man, whatever I order.
The D18 retro or the D20 or what? I mean, or what you were talking about, the X.
Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of all of it. We're going to have, obviously there was one that somebody sent me a picture of the other day that was like $350,000, and we're not going to have that one.
Well, wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
I may can pull some strings and do a special order for you.
You going to buy it?
But,
you probably could.
Yeah, but we probably won't have that one. But yeah, we will definitely have the X series.
That's awesome.
Like that. I'm excited about Martin coming back in.
Yeah. What other stuff you offer here?
Man, let me tell you, and I got to brag about this. It's hard to impress me with PA equipment.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in what I like. Obviously, I love Yamaha. We're a Yamaha dealer. You see all the pianos we just got in this week from Yamaha. I love Yamaha PA, and I've been a PreSonus dealer for a while. We do PreSonus mixers, and we do a lot of PreSonus boards in churches and stuff like that.
Great product.
I didn't really know a whole lot about PreSonus PA speakers. I was kind of just shying away. I'm a little old school. You know, you got to prove it to me to go with something like that. And man, this afternoon, my PreSonus rep come in. He was like, he'd called me yesterday, and he was adamant that he wanted to come by and see me today. He's like, I can't tell you this on the phone. I just got to show you. I was like, okay. And man, he comes out and breaks out a couple of PreSonus' new PA speakers, a 10-inch and a 12-inch. And I knew something was weird because he didn't want to do it inside. I'm like, man, you know, I'm kind of busy. But he said, no, you got to come outside and let's do this.
Right.
So we ran an extension cord outside.
To the parking lot?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, he sets the speaker up on my deadgum, the sidewalk out here, and then makes me walk into the church parking lot across the street.
Which is probably a good 75 yards away.
Oh, God, yeah. And he Bluetooths to it, and this speaker is blowing me away over there, and it was not breaking up.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, Dave, you will get an order from me in the morning.
PreSonus.
Yeah, I promise. And you know, he's always jacking with me because he does a great job, and he's always trying to get me an order from him, and I only order what I can order. But yes, I will have an order of.
Yeah, I'll be by too because I'd be interested to hear that.
Oh, you'll hear it because I'm buying me some personally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get me some.
Hey, my next band gig, I need a drummer and
And a PA.
and a PA.
Drummer and PA. I'm your man.
No, but you do some other stuff here too. Some like you do guitar setups.
Yeah.
Here you mentioned the lessons and everything.
Oh, and shout out on the lessons. Shout out to AC Steer, Broadmoor, Middle over here, or over there. But you have the
Broadmoor Baptist Church.
Broadmoor Baptist Church, where I go to that church. You know, so there's all these people, and I mention all that because people that see this, if you have children, come and get some guitar lessons.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, we're gonna have, like I said, Tony Reyes teaching up here, and we're gonna have Landry teaching up here. And
then brother Joe.
Yeah, and then
Brother
Joe's
Joseph?
well, I don't know if Joe's going to teach up here, but Joe will be up here to help you.
Man, Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about it today, but he definitely help you in here with some piano stuff and all. And yeah, we do. I'm doing basic guitar setups, string changes. You know, we stay busy with string changes.
What's your most popular? This may be a loaded question, but I've always wanted to ask a music store this. What's your probably your most popular set of guitar strings?
On acoustic?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. Right now, those Diodario 11s, the XSs, I think is the ones that Braden's been playing.
Are those the ones that last a long time?
Yeah, they have been. They've been doing really good. I mean, not to just plug one particular, but you're asking what my most popular
one here. Yeah.
What I've noticed, I've been selling the most over those lately.
Yeah.
So they're endorsed by Braden Watt, the Braden Watt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Braden's gonna call me and go, "Where's my back of string?"
Yeah, I know. Hey, but look, I will second that and third and fourth it because Braden actually put me on. He's like, dude, I know we were Elixir fans, and he said those are great strings still, and I still use them every now and then.
Elixirs, sure.
But he said you got to try these XSs, and so I went buy me a pack, and they're great strings.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah. So you're asking me, which is our most popular, not necessarily my.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about for electric guitar? Like, what y'all got?
Man, I would have to say, really all of them up there.
Yeah.
You know, the obviously everybody loves Elixir.
Yeah.
Electric.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But the Ernie Ball and the Diodario, those the Diodario's right there in the black package. Not the XTEs, but they're the NYXLs. What I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The
yeah.
NYXLs do real well. Landry started playing those, and then it's funny because when a couple of local guys, start playing something that they really like, then everybody else jumps on that bandwagon.
That's right. That's perfect.
So, yeah, we do a lot of the NYXLs. Most of the strings. What's crazy is when we got in business, I knew drums. I am a drummer, so. The thing about drummers, though, is an old buddy of mine that had a music store in South Louisiana. He told me, he said, I wouldn't sell drums. He said, drummers will duct tape their stuff together before they'll buy a new kit. And in a sense, he's right, but I've actually done pretty good with drums in Stonewall, and we don't have a lot of drums here. We've got a lot of hardware now. I'm building up our stick box.
Yeah.
We've only been in here a month, 2 months. And
It's very new, yes.
And I'm going
Fresh
crazy.
paint on the wall. You can still smell it.
Still, I'm still trying to get everything fixed up in here and get everything stocked up. But the cool thing is when we first got in business in Stonewall at Cardinal, before I even told anybody I was opening a music store, I got on Facebook and I was like, hey, guitar players, what strings do you use? And I had a notebook. And everybody that commented on there, I wrote down their name and their string size. So if you commented on there, I still got your string size. And I wrote their name.
They're going to get you in the store.
Yeah, I know.
Well, but what I did is I did that because I was like, man, I don't want to just order a bunch of stuff.
Right.
I mean, you've only got so many spaces on that wall.
Sure.
That's
if
right.
I carried every string out there, all the walls would be just strings.
It's your string shop.
So which is another place that I love in Bossier.
I mean, no,
That was my heart, man. The string shop in Bossier City. Andy and Susie, we love it. But yeah, I did that, and those were the strings that we started carrying, and then we would just build on it as customers would come in and ask, and if we knew that customer was going to be a returning customer, or if 3 or 4 customers asked for the same strings, then we're definitely ordering that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Well, this has been fun.
No, it's yeah.
No, I mean it.
it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I can't wait to do it again in the Hutto room.
Oh, because then,
Yeah.
then we'll have some.
Some Hutto.
And you may have to be a member of the HTP then. Subscribers only.
Subscribers only.
There you go.
Yeah, but look, y'all come check it out. Go check out Cardinal Music for sure. Go check out. Come over to Shreveport Music. Where can they find you, man? You got social medias?
We do. CardinalMusicCompany.com and the Shreveport Music site. It's undergoing changes. We've still got to get a handle on it. And
Sure.
Get it back up going. But yeah.
Facebook the same way. Your social media's on that?
Social media is the way to go. Check
No, that's
us
what I'm
out.
saying. Is it still kind of under?
Yeah, it's still under Shreveport Music. It's still under Cardinal.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, under Facebook. Yeah.
Come check it out. Come check them out because I told Steve this before we even got started. I said when I walked in and I started checking out things and everything, I noticed that they just didn't carry the run of the mill stuff. Like they've got some really great stuff, especially like they got a ton of guitar pedals over here for electric guitar players.
Amps.
Yeah, amps, great stuff, and it is really good quality stuff. Like I saw that Paul Reeves Smith,
PRS DGT behind you, and then
Yeah.
I was showing Trey the pictures of some of the Dr. Z that we have on the way.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
oh man, yeah. I just spent a big fortune, and
Yeah, it's
bought
a
a bunch of
fortune. No,
Dr.
it's a fortune.
It's a fortune. I just
It
spent a
is.
fortune on a bunch of Dr. Z amps. They're on the way though. So if you like Dr. Z, we'll probably have it. It should be any day coming in.
Any day now. Well, thanks for letting us pick your brain.
Man, I appreciate y'all. I absolutely do.
Because I was able to seriously ask questions to a music store owner. Some of the things, because I like talking business and things, and like I said, a lot of people don't realize
Yeah.
how much money it actually takes to get the inventory in to even be able to have a chance for you to walk in and buy it anyway. And
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes into it. Well, thank you.
I will say this, and speaking from a small business owner standpoint, I'm very blessed to be a retired fireman. I have my little retirement check my measly retirement check coming in, but it pays my bills. I could not imagine being a small business owner trying to make it just off my small business
Yeah.
owner
Right.
in today's time.
That'd be your only bread that you make right there.
And 90% of your small business owners out there
Yeah.
are doing it, and
Yeah.
I could not imagine. So my heart goes out to them. And
Which is some kudos to you though, and your family and the community and the family business and the family you built around you that are maybe not your bloodline family, but your music family to have 2 locations. So kudos to you.
yeah,
Congrats.
It's working. I've got my heroes out there that I love that
welcome.
really are heroes. Absolutely. You're one of my heroes. But I have heroes out there that really inspire me, and I always mention this guy, and we all know. And, it's not like I'm real close to him. I don't know him real well, but I know him well enough that I always mention Bojack's, man, with what they've done with Hurricane Alley.
I
Man,
know.
look at that. That is a success story,
Yeah.
from where Bojack came
So many
from.
people talked about that,
Oh,
like
it
wanting
was-
to do that, but they
Yeah.
actually had the opportunity or created the opportunity
Yes.
with the food truck.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
inspired
And then
me
just-
to do what we're doing,
Yeah, yeah.
Because, man, he loves musicians. He loves music. He puts back into all of our pockets, into the community's pocket. Anytime we reach out to them for a benefit, man, they're there, man. you know, they say, yeah, come on, we'll host it. Let's do it, you know.
Kudos to Bojack's, the East Bank District Mafia, or whatever
East
they're
Bank
called.
Mafia, yeah, man. I love them. Yeah, I eat over there about twice a week. My wife's
That's right.
tired of it, but I love it.
Yeah.
I was there
Well,
last night, matter of fact.
If you love it, you love it.
I love, man. Look, I went over there last night and saw Jen Janae at Frozen P Row and got my big old frozen P Row steak.
Yep.
Every week I'm there.
Yep. That's good.
Love it.
Well, Steve, thanks for being on the show. We've enjoyed it.
Thank you. Episode 25.
Episode 25, Part 1.
Part 1. We're getting the secret boom boom room back there.
That's right. Yeah. We'll see you next time on the Honky Talk Podcast.
Brought to you by the Sundown Tavern, saving Rustin one sandwich at a time. Thank you.